For centuries, families made every cleaner they needed for pennies. Then a 1950s advertising blitz convinced you to stop. The home cleaning secrets they buried never stopped working, and this story starts long before any brand existed. Before marketing departments created the illusion that clean homes required a plastic bottle for every surface, maintaining a household was a matter of basic self-reliance. For generations, this knowledge was not a secret, but a standardized chore. Written guides preserved a universal formula built from just 4 elements: fat, ash, water, and time. From medieval household scrolls to early modern guidance, families followed these exact steps as routine work. Later, Victorian and Edwardian domestic manuals kept these soap recipes in daily use, long before grocery stores sold pre-packaged detergents. Even into the early 20th century, government extension literature actively taught families how to prepare laundry mixtures at home, treating cleanliness as a practical craft rather than a retail dependency. On the American frontier, this craft was a seasonal necessity. Families collected hardwood ash in outdoor hoppers, leaching it with water to extract potash lye, then boiling it with saved lard to yield a year's worth of solid soap. This basic self-reliance persisted well into the 20th century. During World War II, government guidance actively kept the practice alive, distributing pamphlets with titles like "Save Money, Make Your Own Soap" to help families avoid shortages. Eleanor H., who grew up in Ohio during this era, remembers those nights in her mother's basement. "We made it because you simply did not waste household fat," she recalls. But as cheap commercial options flooded store shelves in the decades after the war, that generational knowledge quietly faded from daily life. Saponification is a basic chemical reaction documented for thousands of years. Babylonian clay tablets from 2800 BCE record boiled ashes and fat used to wash wool, while the Egyptian Ebers Papyrus of 1550 BCE describes alkaline oil mixtures. By the 1st century, Roman author Pliny the Elder documented a practical Gaulish cleaner called sapo, made from goat tallow and wood ash. To replicate this history, a living history demonstrator leaches water through hardwood ash to extract potassium LYE, then combines it with rendered household animal fat scraps. This reaction joins fat and alkali, transforming the mixture into a mild, solid block. While raw LY is dangerous, the finished, cured bar is completely safe. Dr. Megan Liu, a household chemistry specialist, explains that raw LYE is highly caustic, requiring protective goggles, thick gloves, and plenty of ventilation during the process. Once cured, these simple homemade bars clean beautifully for pennies apiece, contrasting sharply with commercial store-bought alternatives that now retail for $5 to $8. Before synthetic detergents filled supermarket shelves, families cleaned their fabrics with simple minerals. Washing soda served as the standard laundry booster, raising the water's pH to dissolve grease. For stubborn dirt, households mixed in borax, which required careful handling in its concentrated powder form, but softened hard water effectively. Heated water did the remaining work, lifting heavy oils without the need for complex additives. Modern homesteader. Sarah Jenkins relies on this exact routine today. "I mix hot water, washing soda, and borax to lift tough grass and grease stains from work clothes. It works as well as any premium brand for a fraction of the price." For kitchens and bathrooms, the cleaning arsenal is completed with basic pantry ingredients. A simple mix of white vinegar and water cuts through grime on glass and countertops, while citrus peels steeped in vinegar add natural grease-cutting power and a fresh scent. This combination works on almost any sealed surface, though undiluted vinegar should never be used on natural stone like marble or granite. "I use my citrus-infused vinegar spray on everything from the kitchen table to bathroom mirrors," says homesteader Sarah Jenkins. "It dissolves greasy stovetop splatters and water spots instantly, costing only pennies per bottle." Transitioning back to these basic methods saves the average household over $1,200 annually, proving that self-sufficiency remains a highly effective budget tool. Modern off-grid makers and families continue to show that simple, raw ingredients easily tackle daily grime for a fraction of retail prices. As one homesteader notes, saving this much money changes how we look at every commercial product we used to buy. If you want to try any of these methods at home, I've linked the soap-making supplies and natural cleaning ingredients in the description below. Everything you need to get started is just a few pounds. Post-war corporate marketing systematically dismantled America's self-sufficiency by redefining what it meant to run a clean home. Beginning with the 1946 launch of synthetic detergents, manufacturers like Procter & Gamble and Lever Brothers spent tens of millions of dollars promoting Tide, Rinso, and Whisk. Advertisers sold cleanliness as a test of social status rather than a practical craft, using the language of modern science and instant convenience. Buying packaged chemicals was framed as the only responsible choice for a modern family, successfully turning a free generational habit into a highly profitable, lifelong subscription. Reclaiming these cheap, basic ingredients rejects an industry built on bloated markups. I've linked my favorite natural supplies below to help you start saving today.